as humans, every one of us have our basic instinctive needs that we meet in early part of our lives. And those who have achieved meeting their basic needs, we get into the realm of pleasures, enjoying the pleasures of life, celebrating our life, experiencing the joys of life. In the process, we also experience anxieties, worries, and tensions. This is how the life of most of us goes on until we exist in this planet. A very few indeed gets to the yet another stage of trying to question themselves, to question the very existence of their lives, what is righteousness, what is justice, and what it is to do good for others, what it is to be in service of others. Those of us who face challenges in life, we stay away from such realms. And today we are going to discuss with two wonderful human beings who have apparently faced a lot of challenges in their physical ailments, but that has never bothered them. They have gone to the levels of being in service to the humanity, and believe me, it's a miracle in service to the humanity. And with all humility, I have got this opportunity to discuss with them, and my first gratefulness to such wonderful human beings who have accorded their consent to discuss with me on what they see the life and how they experience the life, which I'm sure will be of great interest to every one of us watching this program. Friends, I have immense pleasure in introducing Sri Ramakrishnan and Sri Sankar Raman, both of them who are very instrumental in Amar Seva Sangam, who is doing a human service to the mankind today. And today we'll be discussing with them for seeking questions to life, which I'm sure will be of interest to every one of us who are watching this program. Good evening, sirs. It's a pleasure to be having a discussion with you today.
Namaskaram. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Wish all your viewers a very happy time to come.
Thank you so much. Sir, every time I get the opportunity of meeting you, whenever I get a chance to visit Amar Seva Sangam, it's such an inspiration for me, and I tell myself, what am I doing, and what lessons should I take from an institution like this to lead a purposeful life. And I'm sure you must have had a lot of challenges in the beginning to have built up such a huge institution. And more so, I would like to know about your early childhood, your parentage. Like they say, a parentage makes a lot of difference in a person. It determines his character as they progress. And the early childhood plays an important role in giving shape to their life. In what way has it tuned yourself to be doing a wonderful job in your adulthood? I'd like to know about from you, sir.
Namaskara. I am Ramakrishnan. My parents, Seva Sangam and Saraswati. My grandfather, Ramakrishnan. He was a great social worker in that locality. I used to go along with him whenever I used to meet important persons of a government side and the other area. was a great inspiration to me. I learned many things from my grandfather. For example, he never allowed us to say no, not possible, not able to do. We should answer in the positive way. We will do it tomorrow, or we will do it next time. And whenever visitors come in bullock cart from nearby villages, my duty is to take care of the bullock cart drivers. So even now, I used to ask whether driver has taken tea or food. So all these things we should develop from the childhood. That opportunity I had. My parents also, they were also doing the same thing. So my brothers, sisters, they are all following the footsteps of our forefathers. And we studied in government school of Ayikudi. Our teachers also like that. We used to go to the banks for their personal work. Banks, post office, tea shop, even 5-10 kilometers distance. We used to go to their villages and take afternoon food for them.
Okay.
So these things, what to say? Nowadays, these are all punishable work for the teachers. But at those days, we voluntarily did all these things, and we came to know about the bank, post office. Otherwise, our life experience would not be there.
Great. It's given you a lot of opportunity.
And we studied in the Paramakalani College, Ayikudi, pre-university course. There also the same type of treatment. Our principal, our secretary of the college, they all used to mingle with us and take care of us. While taking food, our secretary came to the dining hall and used to tell, take good food, take more food, look at my figure. Very interesting. Like that, teachers or professors also like that.
You've had a very pleasant, smooth, good parentage and childhood. How about you, Raman sir?
I am born with the condition called muscular dystrophy. And
I heard that you developed it after your birth.
Actually, it is a genetic issue. It is a autosomal recessive. That's what they call. So what happened was, when I was 1.5 years or 2 years old, I am not walking well and I am falling down and all that. So, but then the local doctors could not diagnose. My father was having a transferable job. He was in Life Insurance Corporation of India. So those days, when I was born in Pattukotai, in a rural area.
Okay.
And my problem surfaced when my father was in Tanjavur. So they took to the government hospital there. They couldn't figure out the problem. But then when I was 3 years old, my father got transferred to Bangalore. So there, about 3.5 years or 4 years, when I was at that age, they took me to the government hospital in Bangalore, where Dr. Mani, the neurologist, I remember one of the early memories of my life is that they put me into a lot of tests, and they put me in a sedative by asking me to, there was a chloroform kind of thing, which they did not ask me to smell, but they told me that it is a phone and asked me to call hello, hello. Okay, that is a funny way of tranquilizing me. Then after I woke up, I found that all my bodies were pricked all over. Then they did also a muscle autopsy. Then they found out that it is a case of muscular dystrophy. Then Dr. Mani told my father that only management is the way out, and there is no medicine or cure for it. And he said, don't go to any doctors. Okay, which my father did not follow at all. He very promptly took me to several doctors, put me under several medications. But one of my early childhood experience was with Swami Jnanananda. So I was about 4 years old at the time. So I spent about 2 stints of 6 months, from 3.5 years to 4, and then again 4.5 years to 5, where in Tapovanam, near Tirukovilur, he was a great saint.
Yes, sir.
And he always put me on his side and teach me bhajans and so on. And one day, he also, along with my father, gave me the Vidyarambam. They made me write on a milk and rice and all that. And then, his blessings is always there with me throughout. I should say that. I was walking around. I was not all that bad. So until I was the 8th standard, I was quite okay. I was able to go to school, attend classes and all. Even though I couldn't climb stairs, I couldn't participate in the sports events and all that. My teachers and all were very cooperative. And one of the important things is that I have 3 older sisters and my parents. They never made me feel or think that I am anyway different.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah, they took me as any other sibling or a child. And even my sisters used to protest with my mom if my mom gives me extra coffee, saying that, yeah, he is a boy, so you are giving him privilege. So that's a kind of a healthy environment.
Your childhood was just like any other normal child's childhood, and you had
absolutely. But then after 12 years, I started falling down, and I had to be in a wheelchair by age 15 or 16, totally. But my hands are very good. I used to draw. I used to learn Veda. So they did my, the ponal function, the sacred third function and all that. So at that particular point of time, I was a bit depressed. When I was losing regular schools, I had to be in the house. We are basically from Chennai, so I was in the house for 2-3 years, did home studies. And those 3 years were pretty tough. And then I came out with very good marks, flying colors in the Madura metric, the 11th standard was the final at the time. That gave all of us a lot of confidence. Even my parents got a lot of confidence because of that. Because they were thinking that maybe I couldn't, make the grade, but then I did. So that was a big relief for them. Then they helped me to go for the higher education. So I wanted to pursue the education for the chartered accountancy. I wanted to become an auditor.
Okay.
Even when I was doing my 5th standard, my school teacher used to ask me, what are you going to do? The teacher is still there alive.
Okay.
She used to ask me what I would say I want to be an auditor. I didn't know and I don't know what an auditor would mean. But somehow I said that. But I pursued that. And in 1981, when I was about to enter the articleship, there was plenty of auditors in my street in Rayapetta, Chennai. But none of them gave me an opportunity. they thought that I am going to be an unfit fellow. But then my father wrote to the president of the CA Institute and sought for a placement for me in an auditor's office. That was the International Year of the Handicapped. So he brought that point to the communication. So their council, CA council, took a decision to offer an extra seat in every auditor's firm for persons with disabilities, on top of whatever vacancy that they are eligible. So even today that exists.
Okay.
So that brought about a big change. So I got an opportunity. So there was a great auditor, Auditor Shivaji, and his partner Narayanan. So they both took me and I did my articleship. They gave me a completely accessible environment in Egmore in Chennai. So I did 3 years. My auditor also, they never discriminated me on the basis of disability.
Okay.
He used to give me challenging job. He used to tell me, are you willing to go for bank audits in nearby towns? Even up to, I went up to Madurai and Salem for bank audits.
Okay.
So I used to say yes. My father used to have an attendant with me. So I used to go in an auto and then attend my office work. And for the external audits also, I used to travel by train with the help of an assistant. I could write and read everything by myself. I did my finals in CA also, and I got a rank also. I wrote everything on my own, even though they gave me some extra time. I didn't take the extra time. They even offered a scribe. I didn't take that because I thought that I am not going to be assisted or I need any extra support unless I really need it. So long as I don't need it, I didn't take those additional benefits. In fact, I used to finish my exams 5 minutes ahead of schedule and return the papers. My examiners used to think, oh, this boy, poor chap, is going to fail. He is giving me the papers in advance. Okay, but then it was all a surprise for all my team members, for my auditor's office, for the entire CA Institute in Chennai. They were all very, very delighted when I got passed my first attempt. All of them were delighted. So that's my experience. That gave me a lot of positive outlook towards the world.
Gold medalist.
Okay. To pass CA, it's a big thing, and generally they say getting to pass CA in the first attempt is rarest of rare things. Where from you must have had these roots of determination at that young age, and it's very interesting to note that even in your 5th standard you are very focused and you wanted to do CA, but this must have been, someone must have been an influence upon you, if I may say.
As an afterthought, at that point of time, my older sister was doing BCom and MCom in Annamala University. So she used to talk about the commerce, she used to talk about the auditor and all that. So that might have had an influence on me. So if you become an auditor, you become a great achiever in the society, something like that would have been there in my mind. And even in my young age, in those 3 years when I was going down from my activities of daily living, I became dependent in those 3 years. Before that, I was independent.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that was.
But that never deterred you when you were dependent.
Those 3 years, I used to punish myself. I used to be, not going to the bathrooms, not eating, not drinking water. So all those stuff. But then what happened was, my entire family was very pathetic because of me. So they were get more and more worried about me. So at one point of time, I was asking myself, why I am like this? Because, see, getting myself trouble is different. But I am making others worry.
Okay.
So I want to make everyone happy, the environment to be positive. So slowly I changed.
Was there any particular incident which brought about the change in you?
Yes. That was one of the most important things that happened in my life.
Wow.
Is I read in 1981 or so, 1979 in Hindu, that Arthur Ashe was a tennis Wimbledon champion. US. He suffered from cancer. There was somebody was interviewing him. Why, Ash, you are having this problem, but you are still cheerful? He replied, when I was winning all the Grand Slam titles, I didn't ask the God why you have given me these achievements. Now, when I am having this problem, I have no right to ask him why you are giving me this trouble. So, I have a life that God has given me. That is a message. That was a great change in my thought process. I could see that after all, God has given me a purpose in life. I have to explore for it. There is no point in pitying myself or saying that I am incapable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this has come to you, God has come to you in the form of author Ash and his interview to someone saying...
That I read in the Hindu paper.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So there used to be a Chinese proverb. I used to complain that I had no shoes till I saw my neighbor who was without feet.
True, very true. Mr. Ramakrishnan, I see, I must tell the audience that both of us are from the same college, although we didn't study together. But I get to know from your classmates that you have been a very active, and if I may say so, you have been a very naughty person also, making a lot of fun with your colleagues, and you must have been bubbling with enthusiasm during college days. And then this accident happened in your life, though people may say it's unfortunate, but it has turned out to be the other way around. So because you're such an inspiration to the society today, and you have turned your world around into a glorious way of living, showing lead to others. I'd like to know something about that.
I am one of the most fortunate persons in this earth.
Wow, great.
Because there's a saying in Tamil, Kuttupatalum, Modrakayala Kuttupadanam. So, when I went for Naval Officer selection while doing fourth year engineering, during the obstacles part of the interview, I fell down from a tree and broke my neck. So because it happened in that place, I was given the privilege to get treatment in Air Force Command Hospital and the Military Hospital, Kadiki. So my doctor, in whose name Amar Seva Sangam is named after Amar Seva, the then Lieutenant Colonel, and he retired as Air Marshal. So he was deputed from Pune to Bangalore just to treat me. So such a wonderful privilege was given. Then he gave me traction and all things. Then he encouraged me, after 2-3 months traction, you will be taken to Military Hospital. There I will look after you very well, don't worry. And he asked the sisters and other people who is curing their patient. So doctor's responsibility is over once the surgery or first step of treatment is over. Rest of the things are lying only with the nursing staff, sisters or nursing assistants and others. So he advised them to take care of me well and without affecting with bed sore and other things. I was given initially for 1 week, 4 sisters were deputed to take care of me. And immediately after the fall, I told my friends, whether I lost my hand, you go and see the spot where I fell down, whether my hand was there. Like that, total paralysis below neck. Then I told them, if became unconscious, you tell the doctors the truth. But unfortunately, my conscience was there. The sisters looked after me well, and the traction was given. My doctor was there for 3-4 days, and then he entrusted the responsibility with another young doctor, Pratap Singh, the sisters. I had nice treatment there. For every 2 hours, they used to change my position. Then I was shifted to the military hospital, Kadiki. There I was given a privilege to take treatment in the officers' ward. When I was admitted immediately in the spinal cord injury ward, there I found more than 80 patients like me.
Okay, okay.
There only I learned that this is going to be our life. Because it is a big question, who will tell the truth to the patients and the family members? So the nice way of doing it is putting them in a rehabilitation center where other patients are also there. That's what we are doing in Amar Seva Sangam now. Then I had good treatment there. I was there for more than 20 months in the hospitals. Officers used to interact with me. I used to play chess, Chinese checker and other things with them. So we had a good life in the hospital. My doctor wanted me to get admitted in a paraplegic home nearby the hospital, but my application was refused because I was not recruited in the army. It happened during the interview.
That has been good in a way.
Then one of the well-wishers, he brought a nature cure doctor, practitioner, one NR Pillai from Trivandrum. He has advised me to follow the nature cure diet from 1985 to 1996. I strictly followed that diet.
Okay.
So that helped me to reduce the anger. And unfortunately, I stayed in a house where there was no first floor and both the sides tiles room. So I had a tough time to pass my time for nearly 10 years. I used to take bath 7 times a day.
Oh.
So, because to reduce the body heat. Like that I troubled my brother, sister, parents and all. Then I shifted the article in Anandavadan in 1985, written by Madam Seva Sangam under the title Uchi Meedu Vaanidide Ezhugintra Podilum. That brought us into light. For that also, I was called by the then Vijay Machan, the then cricketer, Vijay Machan sir. He called me to Bombay in 1983. That was the first move from my house to outside world.
You knew Vijay Merchant?
No, one of my friends, Raghava Viran college friends, his father wrote a letter to him, he wrote a letter to President of India, Prime Minister of India, Vijay Merchant and another one or two people. So Vijay Merchant called me to Bombay, saying that we will buy your first class ticket. So my brother was studying in Ramakrishnan college, 3rd year BSc. He insisted me to go to Bombay. So he accompanied me. We went in the train, and our relatives and friends, they helped us to meet Vijay Merchant. I was there for 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. That was our turning point for Sangam. And we, as told by Sankar Raman, in 81, 76 to 81, I was staying in that house. It was very difficult to spend the time usefully. Well, so many programs are going on in All India Radio. So that motivated us to start this Amar Seva Sangam. And that's a very important thing. And
how did Vijay Merchant brought about the change in you in those two or 3 days?
now, that is, Vijay Merchant, he was doing service to challenged persons in Chennai, in Bombay.
Oh.
But he was doing things only for individuals, like say a telephone booth or some business like that.
We know Vijay Merchant as a great cricketer, but we don't know this side of his
A great person.
personality.
But he said, we don't help, extend our help for associations.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me to take his cloth business. So that we tried for, say, 7-8 months. But every time going to Bombay, getting the clothes, it was difficult. But at that time, another man told, why are you unnecessarily bothering yourself? Mizra courses available nearby. Why don't you write to them? Then we wrote a letter to Mizra course. They offered their piece close to us. Like that, that story was going on. But by looking at the magazine Anandavaran, the JC's movement from Spiknahar, they came to us along with my another friend who was working in Computer Maintenance Corporation, Ramamurthy. He brought his manager, and JC's member Ramanathan also came along with them. Then they recommended our case to their award, one of the 10 outstanding young persons award. It was given in Spiknagar JC Thuthukudi, then in state conference Erode, and then in national conference Lucknow.
Mm-hmm.
So that time they told about their personality development course. They call it ID, individual development course. We organized nearly 40 courses in Ayikudi itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the opportunity to attend those courses. That helped me a lot to mold myself. So goal setting, creative thinking, positive thinking, in so many topics. So still we have friendship with them, and they are also helping us. Like that, good parents, good brothers, good sister, and local friends. And when I wanted to start this, immediately my relatives and friends Rajagopal, Narayanan, Viswanathan, they supported me. In a small thatched shed, we started this institution. By God's grace, things are coming up well. And when initially we wanted to have a printing press or match factory. So 2-3 people signed in the NOC, my neighbors. One of the neighbors, one advocate, he said, no, I cannot sign because it is a fire material. So I took it lightly and changed I never fought with him or showed any enmity. So everything is for goodness. That is we should go in the flow. So then we started this, one of the Rotarians, Raman helped me to start this movement.
Okay.
And by God's grace. Another thing, my wife, she came into picture in 1985.
I want to ask you about your wedding, and before that, let me ask you, both of you are...
I'll finish that.
Yeah.
Then she helped me a lot. And then in 1990, I went to Chennai for organize a fundraising program. Many Chennai friends helped us, including the taxi driver Ramchandran and my college mate Ramchandran. My college mate used to come by 5 o'clock to help my morning routine, and the driver used to come by, taxi driver 8 o'clock. Every day we used to travel. Such a dedicated friends. My Periyamma, she gave accommodation for 4 months in her house. And that time the fundraising program went off well. And that time only Raman was introduced to us by one Dr. Sumadi and Dr. T.S. Chandra, a professor who was a professor at IIT Chennai, and another friend T.A.P. Varadakutty, the president of Tamil Nadu Handicapped, Physically Handicapped Welfare Association, and the great social worker, ex-Nora IMB Nirmal. So Sankara, we met each other in 1991 August, and he came to Ayikudi on 22nd January 1992. And
remember the date?
Then he started taking care of Sangam. We pushed him in the front, and he attended many conferences, many seminars, and he made, he turned Amar Seva Sangam with the professionalism. So, like that, so many stories are there. I am a most fortunate person because everything is going on well. Only thing is, people should support us. And that aspect is very important. Everyone should get the opportunities, they should get the necessary facilities. That is more important.
Yes, yes. You, both of you seem to be not minding about your ailments or the physical challenge. You are so peaceful within your heart.
There is no time to think about that.
There is no time. So everything is in the mind, if I may say, right? You take care of your mind, and then you take care of your life.
Yeah, we won't even consider that it is an illness.
Great.
It is a condition.
Yeah.
Suppose all of us in the world has blood pressure or diabetes.
Okay.
So that doesn't deter any of you from doing your regular work.
Yes.
It is just another condition you have to manage. So the moment you start thinking about it as an illness, then only the real illness come.
True. Very true, very true.
Yeah. Today I heard one, I watched one video where there was a cardiologist saying that only if you are worried about your heart condition, you really get a heart attack. If you are having a positive mind, the study has said that those people don't get heart attack. Even they have clots, and bypass doesn't help them, but the mind helps them. So they live long. So that works for us also. So we don't consider ourselves as people with any constraint. We consider ourselves as people with certain conditions, and we have to manage those conditions, and in the process we will be able to focus on our abilities. Most of us, when they look at us, they don't look at us, they look at our wheelchairs. So that is their problem, that is not our problem.
Very beautifully said, very beautifully said.
Yeah.
Because we started Amar Seva Sangam, and we are part and parcel of Amar Seva Sangam. What we do for Amar Seva Sangam is not at all important. We are taken care of well by our caregivers, by our family members, by our wife, and those things are, because we are in the service, they are also happy. We are recognized by public, they are happy about it. So everything is God's will.
Exactly, exactly. Tell me something about your family. Your wife is there to support you through and through, and she has dedicated herself to be in your service.
Yeah,
Which
actually,
I'm sure is a big strength for both of you with family having.
yeah, both of us got married.
Yeah.
And Ramakrishnan wife Chitra, she is also Lakshmi. So their marriage was organized in 1994. There was a lot of challenges, and there were people who were not in favor of that. But then we rallied behind, and we said that
Okay.
it has nothing to do with the disability or anything. So in those days, marriage was a big issue. Marriage with a person with disability. So I used to wonder, even in my young age, we are people who are like anybody else. We are human beings after all. We have our own feelings, we have our own aspirations, we have our own desires. Why we are not recognized of that? Why, suppose I want to go and watch a cricket match in a stadium, why people think that I should not have that desire? Why people think that why I am taking so much of trouble to watch a cricket match or to go for a theatre to see a film? And when I was in practice, most of the income tax officers or the registrars in the companies, they used to ask me, why you are coming?
Why are you troubling yourself?
That is the meaning.
Okay,
that is the
okay,
meaning.
okay.
Why you are troubling yourself? I am representing my client. So for the technical aspects, I have to explain to you. So in a way, it helped me because the officers didn't want to see me again, so they quickly closed
moved your files very fast.
They quickly closed the files into my client's favor. That is how I got myself established that I am also capable. Otherwise, they just pass me off as any other person in a wheelchair. Okay. And my wife, she saw me in a TV program, and then we got connected.
Okay.
And we waited for a year. There were challenges there also, but it was done in an acceptable manner by all the families with a lot of public participation, and we are all quite happily settled.
Great.
See, when I asked my wife regarding this, within 2 days, she came out with a positive reply. But the surroundings, you need only a nursing staff to take care of you. Why marriage for you? So another question, if you die, what will happen? Another question, if she dies, what will happen? I used to reply them, if she dies, then after the ceremonies are over, I will sit in her samadhi and start doing my work. If she leaves you and runs away, what will you do? No need for that. I will ask that fellow and convince him, and I will say to them, they both are getting married. So, like that, so many questions are asked by our friends and people. They used to threaten my wife. So many things happened.
Oh.
But finally, we got married in
Okay.
1994 after waiting for nearly 8 years. So she takes care of me very well and very strict in my diet and other things. And she is also running an institution now by name Sri Subramania. Very capable and very dynamic lady. So it's all God's will.
It's the emotional support which matters more than anything else when you have a very lovable one around you to take care of your needs. And you see, generally people, I would like to go a little more further and ask you about the normal people around the world, what we have basic instincts of fear, we have jealousy, people are out of ignorance, we do so many wrong things, and then we have attachment to the worldly affairs, and when you all are doing such type of service for the sake of humanity, how is it that you have been able to come over all these things very smoothly? Is doing in service to the humanity is the answer to get over all these things? An attachment or ignorance or feeling jealousy on others. Is this a solution for the humanity as a whole? What would you say out of your experience?
See, in till 1981, 85, I don't remember, 84, one of our relatives, late Ramakrishnan, from nearby village Markanagara, he used to bring the cassettes of the Guruji, Krishna Prabhu Maharaj, and he forced me to listen to that. Then he brought that Guru to our Ayikudi village and introduced me to him. When I listened to his lecture, when one program was organized next to my door, so he was telling the labham nashtam, sukham dukkam, arogyam roham. All these things are like bank account. These are all our Purva Janma Phalam. So if it is nothing to do with God, God cannot help for all these things. So we have to go in the natural flow. Only thing is, if God is going to help us, we should, give the heart to have faith in Him. That is the only thing we should pray. Nishkamya prarthana.
Okay.
So, whoever does things against us, we don't get annoyed with them. Whoever goes against us, we also treat them as our friends. It's all, we learned many things from the lectures, from the ID program of JCs, listening many programs in All India Radio. Like that, we developed that habit. That is very important.
Okay.
We should keep ourselves, our heart and mind, very free from this jealous, hatredness and other things. Swami Shivananda's international prayer you must have had. Free us from egoism, lust, greed, anger and hatred. Give us understanding heart to like that the singular. Give us understanding heart for balancing mind, equal vision, faith, wisdom and other things. So we should attend many programs like this, then only our battery will be recharged.
But sir, when you are engaging yourself in service of others, that would also be a great fact to temper your understanding and your outlook towards life. Just by hearing every one of us hear good lectures from renounced souls and jnanis, but then isn't your experience of serving others also has made you to evolve beyond these levels of petty things of the mankind, what we see today? Most of the disturbances around the world is due to ignorance and fear of one another and attachments.
See, when Sankar Raman, when he came here, even myself being the son of the soil there, I never visited many villages. He used to put the folding cot on the top of the car, go to the, went to many villages, put the cot on the, under the tree and lie down, talking with people.
Okay.
See, when we go to the field, we find so many people are suffering with so many problems.
Yeah, I would like to,
Only when you experience, it really makes a difference in your outlook.
We don't have time to think about other things.
I will try to put it your question in a slightly different perspective. See, service to humanity is one way of overcoming all the jealous and all the idiosyncrasies that.
Because the pace at which you people are living is an inspiration.
Yeah,
even if I look at you, I get some vibrations of peace.
Yeah, the basic instinct for every human being is that they would like to, contribute positively to the society. Not everyone is not 100%, thinking about oneself. They also have a part of their mind which is towards the society. Because when I was practicing as a chartered accountant, and the same kind of support I got from my attenders, I used to go and people used to lift me, take me in a wheelchair and all those stuff. But then at the end of the day, I used to wonder what I am doing actually. See, when I am doing all these things, it is all because of so many people helping me. And I am not giving anything in return. I am only earning for myself. And that really didn't make me feel happy about it. So the moment I started using my capabilities for some common cause, then I became more confident. I became more justifiable to get the help of many people.
This is the crux.
Yes, because otherwise I would have lived in a life of guilt all throughout. Because I am at the physical contributions of many people, and I am earning myself only. I am not, doing real justice. Maybe I am helping my client, but then that is not a social cause. But when I look at the common cause, the disability is close to my heart, and I could see that when I can grow up like this, despite disability, to get to my full potential, why can't others be given an opportunity? And if my focus is that, it is totally different. I become a different man. And secondly, service to humanity is not anything different from what all of us are doing. Each one of us are doing in a different way. And people who are executives, who are CEOs, who are business entrepreneurs, who are Ambani's kind of people, they all do a big change in the society. You do a big change in the society. And every one of us contribute to the society. At one point or the other, we are touching the life of many people. So if we focus on that, then our life becomes easy. We don't have to be jealous of anybody else.
I would say that's a humility in you to say that every one of us is doing in service of others, but whereas your service is far beyond the words of description.
But it is your interpretation.
Okay.
But
Yes.
we don't think like that.
Yes.
Say,
Yeah.
every section head in a department is contributing. Every staff, they are contributing. Without, it is all joint efforts.
Okay.
It is not Ramakrishnan doing or Sankar Raman doing.
Okay.
Without others' help, everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
This
business-
equanimity would come only when you contribute in others' life, isn't it? Like, for instance, if I am in business, so my goal in my organization will be to improve the livelihood of limited personalities who work for us, if I may so, in a very broader level, other than my profit motive. But then in your case, you reach out to the wellness of the whole world as such.
Because our job is that.
Okay.
Your job is to make profit.
Okay.
If you don't make profit, then you are wrong.
Okay.
You have to make profit, and you help a few number of people. That has a rippling effect.
See, our mothers looked after us.
Okay.
Our father fed us. That is why we are able to eat and everything.
Possibly the purity of our acts come only when we do in service of others than in commercial establishments, if I may say so.
No, it is not.
No, I also don't agree.
There is a saying,
Yeah,
That's a beautiful.
yeah. Even if you are kind of doing work in a social sector, I won't say a service.
Okay.
It is a job in a social sector,
Okay.
and you have to be professional in it. Nothing wrong to be.
If you don't
Yeah.
help us with money or other physical help, we cannot do anything. So,
Well, when you have the purity of intentions, the help comes to you unasked, isn't it, if I may say so? And people get inspired from what you're doing. You are being a very instrumental in improving the lives of others. So that way it is very, it's a very noble task that you have taken, and for example, I'm inspired personally by what you're doing.
that is your lookout.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, ultimately it all depends on how positively we think about ourselves.
Yes.
If I think that I am a disabled person, I can't do anything, then my life is totally different.
True.
So
If I
even,
think that I don't want to accept my condition as a disabling factor, then I am a different person. So if you also, any people in the world thinks that they don't have any limitations and they can reach their potential.
But this most of us don't think. Even if there is if a thorn pricks me, I feel that my day is lost.
see,
This is the
see, I don't have sensation below neck. So it is a great advantage to me. I don't feel any pain in the, in the body. Because
yes.
even-
You're looking at the positive aspects.
Yeah, that also is we should look at it in a positive way.
True.
Now you are sweating and you are uncomfortable. But because I am sitting in a different cushion, I am sweating. This sweating helps me because this reduces the body heat because I sweat. Usually I don't sweat. So everything has its own advantage and disadvantage. So I didn't know about muscular dystrophy for many years. So one day when I was sitting in the veranda, before meeting Sankar Raman, one man was at 6 o'clock. He was limping and going. Then I asked our watchman, who was also a challenged person, see, by 6 o'clock, he started drinking and he is walking like this. Then he said, no, don't say that, sir.
Okay.
It is a sort of illness.
Okay.
Then after Sankar Raman's arrival, we found out of 6 members in the family, 4 members got this problem.
Okay.
And God has given us such a long life. That is also true.
True.
So if we think good, be good and do good, things will automatically fall in line. So that is our experience. And even now, people do not know about spinal injury or muscular dystrophy. Sankar Raman participated in a government program inaugurated by our Honorable CM and in the presence of our Health Minister. There he explained about Raman, you can say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Muscular dystrophy is a condition where 3 out of 10,000 is the average have this problem, and it is one of the rare diseases. For a state of Tamil Nadu's population, you can roughly estimate 30,000 persons.
Which you don't see it as a disease in you.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that's your positive attitude.
Yeah, that's the way that
Yes.
we have to look at it. And these people require support because there are different kinds of this issue. One of the condition is Duchenne muscular dystrophy, where the children doesn't live for long. 26 or 27 is the limit. And my parents were worried about that. And by the grace of God, my condition is different. It is another kind of Bethlehem muscular atrophy, where I am still pulling along. And the problem with young kids, particularly in rural areas, the parents are from poor families. They don't have much of an education about it, and these children have aspirations. They want to go to school. They want to they want to socialize. They don't want to miss out their childhood or studenthood. But then that is not happening for them. On the other hand, the parents are put into a lot of distress, and they are unable to cope with the child's problem, and ultimately the child lives a very difficult, miserable life.
The headmasters are not permitting the child to be admitted in the school. That was also a worst part.
Yes. So because the school doesn't have the necessary infrastructure, because a person, child with a muscular dystrophy cannot go for toilet by himself or herself, and there are similar such issues. So most of them have to do their home studies, which again brings a gap between their levels of socializing and creates a barrier anyway. So these are all the problems, but then it is good if a center or some intervention is available for such children, and the education is also provided. Some drugs have come which are expensive, that also can be provided. Then these children can live a more dignified life. They can live for a longer time.
Okay.
And they can contribute also. So that is what what we are advocating at present, because the medicines have advanced now, and there are some alternatives coming to manage this muscular dystrophy, which we want the state government to take up.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Because we have come to this land, we are able to know about all these things, and we are able to create awareness among the top level people and the decision makers. And Tamil Nadu government is also giving importance to us, and they listen to us, and we are one of the policy makers for Tamil Nadu government.
Certainly, when it comes from people like you who have really contributed so much in others' lives, the concerned government departments heeds good listening to you. Sir, how much does awards and praise and recognitions matter to you? Do they motivate you to achieve more and more, or do you feel that it is just another day in your office?
Both.
Because we all look for appreciation and recognitions.
Both.
Okay.
I consider that the recognitions are required for particularly the field that we are working.
Okay.
Because it is not for us as an individual, but a recognition for the abilities of persons with disabilities.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So it is a showing case that we can also perform, and we can.
It's a motivation to others who are experiencing it as a disability, whereas you don't.
That is one part.
Yes, sir.
That
Motivating all the staff,
Okay.
all those who are connected,
Okay.
all the well-wishers, all the donors.
and also the society to recognize that we are also equal citizens.
Okay. Okay.
So it is, the society has at the end of the day, how the society looks at persons with disabilities. That is what that is going to matter. However, or how much ever efforts we do, if it has to make a real impact, then we should be recognized and understood the way we are, and opportunities to be given to us. And when people see that Ramakrishnan has got the Padma Shri, then everyone can see.
Yes, I want to ask about that.
Yeah, everyone can see the ability in a person, despite the labeled person with disability. But after all, he is another person. So
Yes.
that's the message that this kind of recognitions gives to the society, which I think is more important.
It's a motivation to others through your service, and you see it as an award which helps the society to look at the situation from a different angle, if I may say so.
That is true.
Yeah.
But it gives us more responsibility.
More responsibility, yes,
And
yes.
every time we are given recognition by government or any other institutions or any public agencies or any individuals, it prompts us to do, extend our services very carefully, and it gives us more responsibility. And,
Yes. Yeah.
and such recognitions are helping us to meet people in high level people and
Okay.
government officials.
Okay.
So that is also there. But we should not, headweight should not come.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I'm so sure it doesn't come to you because it reflects on the services that you're doing.